Okay, I'd like to do a few word problems from page 315. The first one I'm going to do is number 3. I'll read the problem. A positive real number is one more than its reciprocal. Find the number. So the first thing you want to do is set up a chart with variables. So they talk about a number, and they talk about its reciprocal. So if the number's x, what do you think the reciprocal could be? 1 over x. Right. There we go. There's our chart. All right, and we can get our answers. Now, let's read the problem again. A positive real number is one more than its reciprocal. The problem is comparing them, so let's set an equal sign, but we're not sure if they're equal, so we put a question mark up there to remind us to think about it. Let's read it again. A positive real number is one more than its reciprocal. So one of these is bigger. Do you know which one's bigger? A positive real number is one more than its reciprocal. This one's bigger. So, to balance the equation, what do I have to do? Add 1. Should I add 1 to the big side or the smaller side? I hope you said the smaller side. Okay. So, there we have an equation to solve. Yucky is the fact that there's a fraction in there. But we learned how to deal with that. What do? Multiply everything by the common denominator. What's the common denominator? X. X times x. X squared. X times 1 over x. 1. X times 1. X. Okay. Let's move everything to the same side of the equal sign. So x squared minus x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, in this section, we were solving by using the quadratic formula. So, minus b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. You know how to use that, right? First, identify a is 1, b, negative 1, c, negative 1. Okay, plug and chug here. So minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Let's figure this out. Positive 1 plus or minus. What goes inside of that? 2 times 1 is 2. That's easy. Okay, negative 1 squared is 1. 4 times 1 is 4, times negative 1 is negative 4. This minus means plus, so let's now change to plus. 1 plus 4 is 5. So, there's the answer. That's 2 answers. So I have 2 numbers here. I have 1 plus root 5 over 2, and 1 minus root 5 over 2. Now, if you're using a common sense here, the question said positive real numbers. This I know is positive. This one I'm not sure, but I know that root 5 is more than 1. So 1 minus something more than 1 gives me negative, so I'm going to eliminate that answer. I'll let you use your calculators to get the decimal form of this. The book has the decimal answers, so use a calculator and happy work. Okay, I'm back on 315. This time we're solving number 7. A walkway of uniform width has an area of 72. Let's write down what we have. So the walk has an area of 72 square meters. And it surrounds a swimming pool that is 8 by 10 meters long. So here's the pool. 8 by 10. Do I know the area of the pool? Can figure that out, right? That's 80 meters squared. Let's put a sketch in here that shows the walk going around the pool. Now, it says the walk is of uniform width. So that means these distances here are the same on both sides. We'll call them x, and the same this way on both sides. We'll call them x. So I need to get the dimensions of this whole figure. So this bottom side is 8 plus x here and x here. So how about 2x plus plus 8. This side here is 10 plus x here plus x here. So how about 2x plus 10? So the total area would be 2x plus 8 times 2x plus 10. Does that make sense? Now let's read the problem again. So, we had a walkway of uniform width has an area of 72. It surrounds a pool that's 8 by 10. Find the width of the walkway. Well, I could set up an equation because I know that the total area minus the pool area equals the walk area. Or I could do the walk area plus the pool area equals the total area. Lots of different ways we could set this up. But now let's set up and do the arithmetic. So I have 2x plus 8 times 2x plus 10 total area minus the pool area, 80, equals 72. Let's figure this out. 4x squared, 16x, 20x, 36x in the middle, plus 80 minus 80 equals 72. Whoa, that cancels out. So now I have 4x squared plus 36x minus 72 equals 0. I could reduce all of these by 4. As long as what I do on one side of the equal, I do the same thing on the other side. So I still get 0 here. I have a new equation to solve. I'm going to let you do that. Once you divide those by 4, identify A, B, and C, and use the quadratic formula to finish the problem. You can do. All right, at this point, I'd like to now do number 9 on page 315. So, mineral deposits form 1 millimeter thick on the inside of a pipe. So we have a pipe, and then there's a 1 millimeter inside coating on the inside. Now again, this is a circle, so we're going to use the formula for the area of a circle, which is pi r squared. Now, the problem says the fluid flowing through the pipe is decreased by 20%, so the area is decreased by 20%. So the big area and the small area are the two areas that we have to solve. And if the small area is decreased, big area is decreased by 20%, that means the big area is 80% now instead of 100%. So I could do 80% of the big area and set it equal to the small area. The deposit is 1 millimeter thick, so if that's 1, we could call this whole thing x, and so we could call the small area pi r squared, which would be pi times x squared. We could call the big area pi times x plus 1 squared, because that radius is x plus 1, and multiply it by 80%. So let's do that and see if we can solve this. So we have 80% times pi times x plus 1 squared equals pi times x squared. Now, it looks a little bit messy to solve this, but I noticed that I could divide both sides by pi, and that is now gone from the problem. And I can multiply both sides by 10 to get this to be a whole number, so let's do that. So 8 times x plus 1 squared equals 8 times, what did I multiply by? 10. 10 times that side is 10x squared. All right, let's simplify this binomial first. So that's x squared plus 2x plus 1 times 8 equals 10x squared. distribute the 8, so we get 8x squared plus 16x plus 8 equals 10x squared. Let's move all of these over to the side. So subtract 8x squared. So we're going to have 0 equals 2x squared. Subtract the 16x. Subtract the 8. Now, let's finish solving this. Oh, notice everything divides by 2. So 0 equals x squared minus 8x minus 4. At this point, as with all the other problems in this section, use the quadratic formula. So a equals 1, b equals negative 8, c equals negative 4. And you can solve those. You see the bottom there? Whoops. And I think you could finish solving this. So good luck.